Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Gebo the Shaman, and today we're talking about the sun in the sign of Libra. So, what does the sun in the sign of Libra mean in your chart? Well, first of all, there's three indicators of the personality in your chart. The first one is the ascendant, the second one is the moon sign, and the third one is the sun sign. So today we'll be talking about and looking at the sun sign, sun in Libra. So anyway, before we get started, I'll just go ahead and tell you guys that I'm having a 30% off special now through the end of the year. It's going to be at vincent.thunderwizard.com, and you can check that out there if you want to learn more information and more details about that. I also have a course, a self-transformation course, energy work course that incorporates qigong, kundalini yoga, and meditations and stuff. It's really cool. It really helps you to gain more energy in your physical body and do cool stuff like shoot it out of your hands and stuff. So that's awesome. So, yeah, that's what that is meant to do. So you can check that out at patreon.com/GeboTheShaman. And that same course that's available here is also available here at GeboTheShaman.gumroad.com. And you can check out all my courses, guided meditations, and mantras and things over there. So check those sites out. Okay guys, so let's talk about sun in the sign of Libra. Well, so first and foremost, to understand what the sun means, you've got to understand what this whole placement means, you need to learn what the sun means. And so the sun is basically things like the ego, the soul, the father, your father, the government, your health, and your career. So, yeah. So then we talk about what the sign of Libra represents. Well, Libra is the natural 7th house. It's the 7th sign of the zodiac, so it has to do with things like relationships, contracts, business partnerships, legal matters, legal issues, and stuff like that. It has to do with relationships, really, of all kinds, marriages, partnerships, business partnerships. It's kind of like the all of the interactions with other people. So yeah, Libra represents all that stuff, and it's ruled by Venus. So, you know, to get a better understanding of how the sun is interacting with the sign of Libra, then you need to look at the position of Venus in your chart. And the position of Venus will tell you whether it's a good thing or a bad thing or whatever. It'll tell you kind of how strongly your sun is placed. Something that's should be noted is that the sun is debilitated in the first 10 degrees of Libra. So if you have it in the first 10 degrees, then you're probably going to have some ego struggles, some ego issues, some self-esteem issues, things like that. So yeah, it's just it's the sun isn't really comfortable here. So in the first 10 degrees anyway. If you have it in the last 20 degrees of Libra, then you'll probably say I have no issues whatsoever with my ego or my self-esteem. So, and that's good. So, the sun in the sign of Libra, the sun would probably be very ego attached to relationships. Like the sun would always want to, like, you would want to get attention and get recognition from other people. Like your ego would get off on that, and you would like seek other people's approval, other people's attention, and other people's praise and stuff like that. So you could be a people pleaser with this position. Yeah, so that's something to be aware of. As far as your soul goes, so this is an indication that your soul came here to learn how to interact with other people in a positive and constructive way. A positive and constructive way. Rather than needing people to feed your ego, or rather than needing people to tell you that you're great and all this. That's what the sun wants to do, but that's not the best thing for everybody. So having a balance, Libra is all about balance. So instead of wanting, to be told how great you are, I would suggest, like, when you see somebody and you see them, doing something cool, or doing, like, you have something that you admire about them, tell them, because it's not all about you, it's about other people too. And so they would appreciate the compliment as much as you would want to be complimented. So yeah, that's what this position is all about, really. Is about getting your ego in check with in regards to your relationships with other people. Yeah, and so also, if your sun is debilitated here, realizing that you don't need other people to validate you. You don't need anybody's opinions or, whatever to validate you. You are, you are special just for being here, just for being on the earth. You don't need other people to see you, to see that in you, to have that experience yourself, and to realize that, yes, it's nice when other people see us and recognize us and really see us for who we are, but it's not necessary. It's not, it doesn't change, it doesn't have any effect on the fact that we are significant, whether or not people recognize us or not. So anyway, so your soul will want to achieve a good balance between the ego, the individual, and the relationships with other people. Okay, so yeah, so it's really a lesson in learning, that you are valued just because you exist, and not needing other people's validation to validate that for you. Because if you need other people's validation to validate that for you, then you're always going to be seeking that, and it's never going to be enough. But if you have that internal understanding that you are enough, then that's what's important. So this could also represent your father with the sun placed here. So with your father, you would have to look at the placement of Venus in your chart, because Venus controls Libra or rules Libra, and so having a look at where that's placed will give you a better indication of what your relationship with your father would be like. But for the most part, just like, I don't know, your father could be very very communicative, very very soft spoken, very like good with interacting with people, like stuff like that. He could be a salesman, a merchant, a lawyer, things like that. Somebody who always is really good with dealing with other people. Of course, that could be bad if Venus is badly placed, but I mean, it just kind of depends on Venus's placement. Yeah, I would say also this has to do with government and authority and royalty, so your relationship with that. I would say that's pretty balanced. You could be you might have, with this placement also, you might have some issues with your health, like with achieving like a balance, like you might have an endocrine imbalance or something like that, or some kind of a thing where you're not balanced in some kind of a way. And then you have your career here too. So sun is an indicator of career. So sun in the sign of Libra would be probably some kind of a, I don't know, it could be a bunch of things. It could be a relationship counselor, could be a lawyer, could be some kind of a police officer, a mediator, judge, some kind of a somebody who handles affairs between parties, like a kind of like a go-between. You could be a salesperson, private business owner, something like that. I don't know. It's just kind of really hard to place it, or hard to say, because there's Libra means, like, Libra could mean a bunch of things, and you would have to look at also the 10th house and where that's placed, and what house your sun in Libra is in, because that would give you a better indication as to like what kind of career you would have. So yeah, alrighty guys, so I think that does it for me. Once again, go check out these links here. I have my courses available at gebotheshaman.gumroad.com. Have my Vedic Astrology readings 30% off at vincent.thunderwizard.com. Have my self-transformation challenge available for $45 at patreon.com/gebotheshaman. Alrighty guys, so yeah, we will talk to you guys later. Peace.